All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Iba Steele Atong. I am one of the candidates that was first nominated in the first screening exercise for San Fernando East, at which the screening process, the 3 candidates were rejected and the constituency sent back to seek suitable nominations for today's screening process. Yes? My feelings towards this is simply based on the fact that the PNM is a political party founded on democratic principles. Now, what I must say is the first screening exercise, after having confirmed with the other 2 candidates, it was not actually a screening exercise. All right? The San Fernando East constituency executive, of which I am a part, would have submitted a letter to the screening committee on the day of screening itself, which would have contributed to the process itself not being fair, not being equitable, and it was not a fair playing field. And therefore, I, as one of the rejected candidates, do not consider it a fair screening exercise that took place before. However, I must say, in the second rounds of screening now, I was nominated by more party groups. And what I must say is that I have not as yet received official communication from Balize House or the Secretary of the San Fernando East constituency whether in fact I will be screened or I will not be screened. However, that is left to be seen throughout the rest of the evening. Yes? Questions?
My name is Randall Mitchell.
So tell me that is not ours. No, footage going up the border screen. Okay, so all these things going to border screen.
We see the entry of the screening committee at the stage. Kenny.
Because this is the second time around.
Yeah. Four time around. 4 time around.
No,
Yeah. Question.
yeah, this is the second time.
4 time around.
4 time around.
Yeah.
Tell us what they expected.
I don't know. I have been approached by people on the street, the man in the street, the small man, the people who don't belong to the system, who felt that they need somebody in there to represent them, and somebody there to have a voice for them. I am not in the system in San Fernando East currently, but I'm just offering myself a service. That's what it's about. Whatever happens, I will continue to be other member of the People's National Movement and do what I have to do.
No, you're going against a big contender, the political
I'm not happy about that, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Funny? As I said before, I've been approached by the people, by the man in the street, by the people who do not belong to the constituency, who do not belong to party groups, who feel that they need a voice, and they seem to have that trust and that confidence in me. just as good as any. I think it's exciting for the party. We have some good candidates available here, and it augurs well for the party. Whoever gets it done, we'll all support each other.
Mr. Regallo, you weren't selected for San Fernando West.
No, I wasn't.
Like?
Neutral. I mean, this is fun for all of us. I think it's exciting. As I said before, we remain members of the party and supportive of the party, whatever decision they make.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And they know where I am. They know what I represent, and that's about it. No, I mean, I've been here before. I've been screened before, so they know what I can do. I'm not a first timer, and I'm committed to the party, one way or the other.
So
Yeah.
even whether or not you are successful.
That's a give. I am PNM to the bone. You know, that don't have a problem with me. You know? No, I think they wanted. I think the one question why I came from the west to the east. Why? And I was able to explain, which I explained to you earlier on, the wider committee came to me, and I couldn't say no. A fair one, yes, it is. It continues because there's a process. There's a constitution which they are guided by. Yeah, and whichever way to go is a good cadre of candidates, we will all come together and rally behind that candidate once you succeed.
And should you, I did not ask you before, and should you get a nod, what do you bring to the constituency of San Fernando?
Well, I think I'll cross that bridge and reach that. I'm not focusing on that right now. Take it one step at a time. I am just committed to San Fernando West, where I'm going to right now. I'm back in my full as chairman of San Fernando West constituency and a supporter of Faris Alwari. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm saying that you've reintroduced yourself for,
I am Malaika Blair.
and you would have served in the San Fernando City Corporation as
Local government representative for Marabella East and as well deputy mayor of the city of San Fernando.
on your tenure. What period?
2003 to 2010.
Malaika, you're on record as being the youngest deputy mayor in the Caribbean. If you get in as a MP, would you be creating another record?
I think the record I will be creating in this instance would possibly be the first female to be representing the constituency of San Fernando East. I think today it's instructive that I'm the only female who is facing the screening committee, and that can be fortunate for me, the rose amongst the thorns, so to speak. But more than that, if I may delve further, I think the persons who've offered themselves today, we have 3 out of the 5 nominees are persons 35 and under. And that speaks volumes to the future of not only the party, but the nation by extension, in that young persons are emerging to offer themselves to contribute to the community and by extension the country.
What do you think are your chances for winning the seat? Well, for the nomination, yeah.
Well, I think my chances are good as any. I mean, I just gave a very good account of myself, having served the party at various levels and by extension the nation. And I think we have a number of solid nominees who are facing the screening committee today. And it's all up in the hands of the screening committee and ultimately the creator as to who will emerge with the PNM flag, the standard bearer for the constituency.
What happens if you're not nominated?
If I'm not nominated, I put my full support toward whomsoever is nominated, because the objective is to retain the San Fernando East constituency by a member of the People's National Movement. Life goes on. We close ranks and we support the candidate.
Why have you decided to re-enter into politics and at this level after so long?
Well, I don't necessarily like the term re-enter because
Active politics.
right, I remained serving the party and the community in the background. I'm sure you would know, you would be aware that I entered active politics at the age of 23. And even though it was an historic moment, it took a toll on my own personal development as a person and by extension on my family. Back then, I became a mother. And, I served my time, I served my full term, and I deliberately stepped back to allow others to emerge and to also pursue my own personal and career goals and commit more time to my family. So at this time, I think within the party and by extension the nation, we are calling for very good representation. We are calling for young people to be given a say. And I have served the city well. Back then I pledged to serve the party and the country in any capacity. And the opportunity presents itself now. And hence the reason I'm offering myself to continue on that strong foundation that was laid, not only by myself, but Mr. Manning himself. Back then in 2003, he would have held my hand when I first came into active politics, being so young, holding that position at such a high level. He did guide me, and for that I want to publicly thank him. And he has amassed a very strong legacy of which we in the PNM are very proud of. And by his very leadership has given me the opportunity to serve the community at this level. So I think all in all, it is a glorious day for the PNM, it is a glorious day for the nation by extension, in that we are seeing more and more young persons emerging to serve the community at a high level.
Do you feel any kind of awkwardness that you are coming up against him, Mr. Manning, that is, if he does show up?
Well, I don't think it's coming up against him. It's actually facing the screening committee alongside him. I think it's quite natural. At some point in time, the teacher has to pass on the baton to the student. And in this particular case, I think it is quite apt. Mr. Manning, as I indicated before, has been a man who I tremendously respect, and not only me, but so many others throughout the world. His record will be forever etched in the annals of history in terms of his dedication, commitment, and service to the nation and the global community in his capacity as Prime Minister. And of course, he is historically the longest serving member of the House of Representatives. I think it's an honor. I feel humbled to have this opportunity, and I think for all the nominees who are facing the screening committee, I mean, we are happy that the very tenets of the party allows for this process. I mean, the PNM is tangibly showing that there must be succession planning. There is a democracy within the party, and Mr. Manning, like so many of us, have that right to offer ourselves to serve. And what we are seeing is that the process is very transparent, and one that will only augur well for the strengthening of the party. I am 35. Yes.
You seem to be someone who's going to create feat after feat after feat after feat. You already are the youngest acting mayor in Trinidad. Your son is probably the youngest panist around. And you are probably going to be, what, shall I tell you or you want to tell me the next feat?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. You can enlighten me.
The most beautiful MP in Trinidad.
Thank you very much. That's a title that I will hold with grace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
back up on them. What? She should go back up on Bengi. What is an action? Because it's body pain galore. I know what this man could buy. But I come and switch it. This is what I put my title and she takes.
Here comes the goal.
Tomorrow. What comment she put? She is for the She better go back up on Bengi and she wasn't built she old fans.
Mr. Porter, the man who organized all them t-shirts for Fiesta.
You said that.
Yes, I did.
Were they quelling you? Were they finding fault?
No, they were asking questions about what I plan to do for the constituency. Every member of the executive asked me a question. Questions were fielded from the members of the constituency executive. And it was all rather geared towards my suitability and what are my plans, what are my main goals and objectives, my history, my involvement within the youth, my involvement within law, my involvement within the community. And I believe it was, to me, that was one of the best interviews I've ever had. It really allowed me to critically think. It really allowed me, especially on the spot, because I was asked everything you could think about, and I think I did what I'm supposed to do. Yes, I do, but I wish not to disclose what exact questions were stated. But Dr. Rowley did ask me, about my involvement in everything, in Calypso, in law, as a councillor. He noted my, how I've been working, commended my work ethics. And I must say that this has been a different experience. I have been screened before as a councillor, but it was basically one person asking questions, but everyone asked me a question.
Why did you?
The most difficult question? There weren't really much difficult questions. I mean, I was asked about the energy sector. I mean, I'm not an energy expert, but I think as a common person or as someone who is in tune with what is going on, I believe I would have been able to answer that question properly. The question was about the energy development in San Fernando. See, that San Fernando is one of the meccas. How am I able to further develop that energy part to make San Fernando a better, attractive energy society?
Why did you decide to go at this stage of your career?
Well, everything.
Still a councillor?
Yeah, I'm still a councillor. It was a couple of reasons. One, I am a councillor, and persons, I would have been in touch with persons within the community, and they have been prompting me, clamoring for me to go up as MP. I mean, they thought that, there was probably succession and I would have succeeded. And besides that, party groups, I got 9 party group nominations. And based on those nominations, based on the ground support, I mean, seeing that I have been developed from a political family, people thought that I would have been best suited, as well as I believe that I am able to do the job because of my training and my position as a councillor and as an attorney at law, being an advocate, and as a Calypsonian. So I think that was one of the reasons why I did. Not rather what I think, but that was one of the reasons why I decided to go forward.
Mr. Manning, who was supposed to be one of the big guns in this whole race, we don't know if he's going to come or so. Why were you going up against Mr. Manning, knowing that he was the person who had you where you are today?
I must clarify that it is not a matter of going up against Mr. Manning. The party had called for screening, party had called for nominations, and I presented myself as any other eligible person, being a member of the party since 2000, for 15 years, being a part of every institution of the party, from party group level to being vice chairman of the National Youth League at the time, to being part of the General Council, to being part of the central executive of the party. So I believe it was a matter of following the footsteps of my member of parliament and putting myself as that alternative. I am 28 years, Mr. Manning started off at 24, so he still has that record, and it's just a matter of continuing that legacy. And I am grateful for his involvement in all of our developments, all the young persons' development in Trinidad and Tobago. He's been a great leader, he's a great member of parliament, and I have no doubt that once the decision, wherever the decision goes, that he will be a great advisor and mentor to the candidate or to the MP, whether it's me, whether it's someone else that is selected.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think your chances are of pleasing?
I can't do a scale. I mean, I could say that I have a good chance, as every other candidate, and I believe that once selected, I have a lot of work to do. I have big shoes to fill, and with God's grace, I'm up to the challenge, really.
What happens if you're not nominated?
If I'm not nominated, I continue as a councillor. I am a representative of the people in an event. I continue in my practice as an attorney at law, and I will continue as Ronald Dono, regardless of whether I'm elected or not. Selected, rather. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Returning Officer. June. Here comes Claire. From a past councillor to present.
I don't know.
Well, not tell us something, he's nothing like his father.
What did he play?
Use his second person tell me that a big multi-million-dollar businessman tell me that he was his father. In the oil business. Yeah, yeah.
But listen, I don't know what is the criteria, but to see that Rwanda has to make
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he is all around.
Yeah, yeah.
All around speaks well.
He's think and talk. Yeah.
Already in all of that level.
Interculture.
He's into culture from a child. I mean, since he was and I think that that's the kind of people that I know politicians have different things that they look at. But I think he would have been an excellent choice. I know that.
If you don't get through, I will tell him the reason. But not tell him. I trust you, and I know you trust me.
I want to ask you something.
Like they know where I'm coming from.
I feel so. But I tell
Tell nothing is true.
All right.
So, Mitchell,
Yeah.
process.
how was your interview?
It was good. They asked the usual questions. They try to get some insight into your life, insight into your background, and they really try to determine whether or not I am fit, and any other candidate is fit for the role of MP. So, I mean, it was long. It was tense at times, but I think I did well.
What you want to share some of the questions they would have asked you? What
Well, they asked about the most challenging was really about the polling divisions and the results from the past elections. Those were the most challenging. But generally, they just delve into your life, and they try to get some insight into your qualifications, and that's it. They just try to understand who is before them at this time.
Now, Mr. Mitchell, if you get a nod for the contest, the San Fernando East, what will be some of your plans for San Fernando East?
I just have one plan right now, and that is to serve the constituents and do it well. I also plan to serve the party, and that's the only plan I have.
No, you are going up. In fact, you are going up against a political leader, a former political leader of Trinidad and Tobago, and political leader of your party. How you felt going up against him? I mean, we haven't seen him as yet, but you are going against him.
I mean, Mr. Manning is a mentor to us all in San Fernando East. He's been there for over 40 years. Mr. Manning has taught us well. I believe that Mr. Manning, at this time, is not fit for the job physically. And I decided to give the screening committee an alternative. You see, I don't believe that there should be any delay in selecting a candidate, whether it be Mr. Manning or whether it be any of my competitors here today. I believe that the strategy of the party, and I agree with it, is that we should have someone on the ground now, because this election is a very, very important one. So I don't have any ill feelings or anything like that.
Screenings for San Fernando East have been from 5 o'clock, and we are now near 7 o'clock. And you were the last person so far being screened. We haven't seen Mr. Manning. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Mr. Manning, I expected Mr. Manning to be here. He's one of the nominees to be screened, but I can't answer that.
Are you surprised?
I am surprised. I expected to see him, but Mr. Manning would know why he isn't here, and those questions should really be directed to Mr. Manning.
When would you
Let me just take this one. Sorry.
Do you think you have a good chance as any one of the other candidates who will be screened tonight?
I'm very confident. I am a son of San Fernando East. I've lived here for over 30 years. I'm a member of the executive for the past 7 years, and I really give my heart and soul for the constituents of San Fernando East through my work through the executive.
So have the other candidates. They've all been,
yes,
long-standing members and who have given
yes.
service. But what do you think distinguishes you from the others?
Cutting edge.
Well, the cutting edge. I think I'm qualified. I think I'm more qualified than the others, and I just think I'm more capable. But that's just me. I'm biased.
But for me personally, I do not know your face, but the others, we have seen them.
Yeah.
We've known them. They have held public offices, so
yes.
we know them, but we don't know you. So give us a little bit about your involvement with the party.
Well, you would find that in organizations, some of the more quiet people, the ones in the background, are the ones that usually do the grunt work. Take, for instance, my very dear friend, Rondell Donowa. I was his campaign manager for perhaps 2 months during the last local government elections. The party had other ideas for me, so they appointed me coordinator for the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, the elections up there. So I worked up there. Subsequent to that, I was appointed to the Election Supervisory Committee. We planned and oversaw the one-man, one-vote, the first one-man, one-vote in the party. Subsequent to that, I was appointed coordinator for Maruga Tableland. And as well, I'm also the elections officer for the constituency of San Fernando East. So it's a lot of work being done. You just don't know my face.
You've not been involved in, let's say, active politics. It would be your first entrance into active politics, electoral politics.
Well, I'm very active, but it is my first foray into the forefront. Yes. Is that it?
Thanks.
Thank you.
5 candidates.
No. That was no indication. No indication. No. He's a very good friend of mine. No words. No indication. Not yet. Nothing yet.
Good day, ladies of the media. I am General Secretary of the party, and the screening committee took a decision after deliberation, and after interviewing the 4 candidates, Mr. Manning did not show up for screening. But for me to announce who's the candidate, I will leave that to the PRO of the San Fernando East constituency.
Did Mr. Manning indicate that...
Let him announce the candidates.
My name is Anthony Clark, the Public Relations Officer of San Fernando East. We are pleased that the screening committee has nominated or recommended Mr. Randall Mitchell as the prospective candidate for San Fernando East.
Thank you.
Mr. Manning absented. What was his purpose for?
No comment.
No, we were told by the chairman of the San Fernando East constituency that he had a discussion with Mr. Manning and he withdrew his nomination papers. Today.
What time today?
Sometime before the screening.
Any reason?
No reason. He just withdrew.
No, he just withdrew his nomination.
And you would have indicated that to the screening committee?
But the chairman of the constituency indicated that for the screening committee, yes.
Were you surprised by this announcement? After all, he had sought a number of extensions for him to...
Right. Everyone knows that Mr. Manning is somebody who contemplates a lot, and you will have to get that answer from Mr. Manning. He would have contemplated his decision, and he came to a decision.
Well, let me say this, members of the media. We took a long decision today. The candidate is Mr. Randall Mitchell. Mr. Manning has withdrawn from the nomination, and we are proceeding. This is our 26th candidate, and we are facing a hectic battle in the forthcoming election, and we are looking forward to that. And we are working with our candidate for San Fernando East, Mr. Mitchell.
What do you want to say to Mr. Manning?
We also announced, the political leader announced that at the appropriate time the party will pay due regard, honor him at the appropriate time.
A thought on the screening process as a whole today?
Like what?
With a thought on the process as it went today? No hiccups, no problems?
No, it went as normal. We have been doing this since 1956. It's the normal way. Interview nominees and come out with the best one. And that happened today.
Any comments on what made him then go towards him and choose him as the best candidate? Any comments on
Mr. Mitchell, well, he's an active member of San Fernando East constituency. He's the elections officer. He has served as coordinator for 2 constituencies before. He's well known within the party, and he's an attorney at law and a businessman. And we believe that he's the best person at this point in time to represent the party in San Fernando East.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
And you? No Ian Ford. Please, no Ian Ford. Everybody, no Ian Ford. I still see E on my name after 47 years. Oh, you're going a long time. You might have up there. It's F-O-R-D. F-O-R-D.
harmony in spirit, dear God. Heavenly Father, we just give you all the glory and all the honor. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, so we want to. Right, let me get everybody come together now. Everybody, who want to excuse? Hello. On three, let me get the San Fernando East people, man.
There's work ahead, but thankfully to Mr. Manning, he has left a trail of political experience, so it wouldn't be that difficult a job, but we have some work to do.
What do you intend to do as of tomorrow?
As of tomorrow, I have to thank the party groups, I have to thank the executive, and I have to thank Mr. Manning. And the day after that, we get to work.
For people who don't know what you're about, tell them quickly what you're about and what you plan for the constituency.
I plan to work for the constituency. I plan to work for the constituents. I plan to represent them to the best of my ability. And that is all that is the only plan I have right now.
Recently, Ms. Marlene Kujwe from the PP said that they were coming hard at the San Fernando East to capture San Fernando East. What message would you like to send to her? What to the PP partnership?
Well, we're here. We're waiting. We've been here for the past 40 years or more. So we're waiting.
But in the seat 44.
Yeah.
Any message you want to send to Mr. Manning?
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Manning has mentored us all. He's mentored me. And Mr. Manning is a hell of a resource in politics. So just thank you.
Do you see a place for him in the PNM?
Yes, of course. Mr. Manning is a resource. Mr. Manning has been here for decades. Of course he is. Of course he has a place here.
Thank you very much.
Great. And ladies and gentlemen, you know that San Fernando East and West will be running side by side. We are now the city of San Fernando. We are very much a very young and energetic party. We're very, very lucky to have had very distinguished leadership by Mr. Patrick Manning for 44 years nearly. He's an icon. There are 3 places in Trinidad and Tobago that the Balize has never lost. One in Tobago, Bucco. We've also Lavantil as a united seat and San Fernando East. So Mr. Mitchell brings a very heavy load to the table to try and fill the shoes of Mr. Manning, who has been an icon in politics and certainly in the PNM. We in the PNM are extremely grateful for his leadership, for his constituency organization. This is one of the best run constituencies in the country. The executive of San Fernando East is a very powerful, well-structured, well-organized event. But importantly, we in San Fernando West and we in San Fernando East, and in fact in Pointe-a-Pierre, and just going south to our friend Terry Jadunanan, we are very much a united force, and we intend to bring the southern areas of Trinidad and Tobago seriously to the forefront of development and strong representation. You know Mr. Mitchell is an attorney as well, as is Mr. Jadunanan, as is Mr. Neil Mohammed, also well qualified with a law degree, and so am I. So advocacy is the commonality of representation in San Fernando East, San Fernando West, Pointe-a-Pierre, and we certainly intend to give the very best showing in the general election. And we're asking people, of course, to consider us on our policies, our processes, our philosophy, and importantly now, our people. A huge debt of gratitude goes out to the PNM for having faith in us, to pass the mantle to us for the time being, to enter into service. Okay? Thank you.
Were you surprised at Mr. Manning? Are you happy that he has done so?
I mean, coming in here, I put on blinders. I was just concerned with my showing at the screening committee. I didn't consider anybody else.
Mr. Manning knows why he didn't come, and that is a question for Mr. Manning.
No, I'm asking you were surprised.
Well, I was surprised. I expected him to come. His name was on the sheet, but I didn't pay any more mind.
If you're happy that you did not have to, he was not a contender, seeing that he is such an elder statesman.
If I'm happy?
That you would not have had to go against him.
As I said, I was just focused on me. I had no thoughts as to, whoever else and how they would have screened. I just focused on me.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. TV6. We've been doing this, as you're well aware, we've been in existence for 59 years right now. So, party is well structured. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone.